It's not that funny, really. 'Cause you might actually end up being Prime Minister. So that's, you have to laugh so as not to cry.
It's either that or just, howling.
Junt or bloated scarecrowman.
Fucking hell.
Holy balls.
I was in a good mood until you brought that up.
Well, I can make you feel good again.
No. No, you can't.
I can make you feel good again without my mouth.
You've tried, and you've got hands like fucking frozen sausages. And it's just, you can't grip.
Could you imagine having frozen sausages for fingers?
Everything's just sliding around.
Great for buttons. Like, you can press buttons all day long.
It's pressure in the wrong places.
Good lord.
No pleasure in that.
Well, there is pleasure in the Big Damn Cast.
Hello!
Welcome, everybody. Nerdy news, geeky gossip, all the news that's fit to occupy your time whilst we spiral towards oblivion. My name is Chris. Don't go breaking my heart, Johnson.
My name is Matt. I didn't nip bad boy. Watson.
That's almost Vic and Bob Club singer style. Something about Rocket Man. Hey! I actually started going, what's he doing? What is he doing? He's doing Rocket Man. We are here to talk this week about remakes. Specifically looking at the Child's Play 2019 remake. What works about modern remakes, what doesn't work, and using Child's Play as an example, we're also going to be talking a little bit more about remakes with a surprise task that I'm going to put forward to young Matthew in a little rouse time, plus your emails. But first, Matthew, man with the plan.
Yes.
Shan with the flan. Can we?
Don't bring Shan into this.
We can, well, you know, she loves that flan. She loves the flan to Shan. What is on the news docket for the year of our Lord 2019, the end of the month of June?
A couple of little things. Nothing too concrete, but
they've not found the murderer yet.
No. We do have a lot of rumours going around, a lot of speculation. I don't think anything's been hard confirmed as of yet.
I'm always hard when it's confirmed.
But it looks like the Wachowskis are prepping to return for a Matrix film.
Yeah, now this has been doing the mill a lot over the last few years.
Yeah.
Matrix is Warner Brothers, isn't it? And there's been people touting toward doing a prequel at one point. There's been talk of a fourth one in the series, with the Wachowskis either giving their blessing to certain concepts or skirting with being involved. But yeah, it's been building back up that something is about to happen.
Yeah, so basically, this comes out of a comment in an interview by Chad Stahelski, who is the director of the John Wick movies, and was also
Keanu's stuntman for The Matrix.
Yeah. Did a lot of stunt work on The Matrix. All of them, all three of them.
You can tell which shots he's in because Neo isn't going, whoa, he's going, wow, ooh-wee. So I imagine that's how he talks.
Shush, fucking internet pop-up video. He commented in an interview...
That was him. That was the director.
Yes.
You're talking about me, boys! Howie! Ooh-wee! It's me, the director, John Wick!
He made a comment in an interview which he since said has been out of... taken out of context, but he said that he's super happy that the Wachowskis are not just doing a Matrix, but they're expanding what we all loved. And this is in line with reports.
I'm sure that was taken out of context.
Definitely out of context. I'm not sure how.
A sentence where he sets up they're doing something with the Matrix that's new. Oh god!
But apparently it is in the pipeline. Zach Penn is on the screenplay, and Michael B. Jordan is going to be in it.
Right.
Whether it's a sequel, remake, reboot.
Story set during the time of the Resistance before the first one, but not necessarily with the same characters.
Rumours are that they have got the Wachowskis back for it. Mm-hmm. It's been in pre-production for a while under the working title of Project Ice Cream. and apparently looking to start shooting in the first half of 2020 in Chicago. Matrix art director Hugh Batup is also working on it.
So whatever's occurring, we're about to find out more soon, regardless, based on that production window.
Yeah.
That's interesting to me. Where do you think they're going to go with it? Because it's one of those series where the first film says everything it needs to say and ends on a perfect note for that story. 2 and 3 are optional and expand the world for those who wanted to see more of it. The Animatrix is a really fucking cool experiment that does add stuff to the series, but also is sort of its own thing.
To the point where some of Reloaded and Revolutions don't make sense without the Animatrix.
Yeah. They were really banking on people getting into the home video market, weren't they? And being like, oh, we all watch the Animatrix.
They were really banking on people playing Enter the Matrix.
God. I played Enter the Matrix. It was a game.
I might track a copy of that down, you know.
I think you can 2-player it at some portions.
Possibly.
I'm pretty sure you can have, like, there's a driving section not too long before the beginning. I'm pretty sure I 2-played that where one of us drove and the other one shot at stuff.
I might have to track down a copy of the GameCube version for my growing...
GameCube,
my growing retro collection.
What controller are you playing on?
I have a adapter that lets... If I'm playing on my Wii, that just straight up takes GameCube controllers.
Dirty.
If I am playing on the Wii U via Homebrew Magic, there's a USB adapter that they released for Smash Brothers, which can just plug.
Where's the GameCube controller port on the Wii? Is it in the back?
On most models, there's a flap on top. When it's stood up on its end, there's a flap on top. So as we're looking at it now, the left-hand side of it.
Oh snap! Because I've got the exact same model Wii as you, and I didn't realise it was in there.
They did remove it on later models. So it depends when you got your Wii.
I got mine in a Wii Fit bundle with the board.
Which Wii Fit?
First one?
Probably still has it.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
just go home and check.
Buddy. We're just talking about tech.
Just go home. And check your flaps. Do you have them? What is underneath them? So yeah,
can you put things into them?
There was talk when this was
concealed,
first. Very concealed. Under tight lock and key.
The tight flaps are tightly hidden.
There was, when this first started bouncing around and Michael B. Jordan was connected to it, everyone thought, oh, they're going to do a Morpheus prequel because, of course, there could only be one black character in the entirety of the Matrix.
The same way that when there was like, this kid is playing the character of Omar in the Child's Play remake, which we'll get to later, and everyone was like, oh, he must be Mike Norris's son. Like, no, they're not remotely related, you racist.
Yes. So...
well, not racist, just very ignorant people.
Every time
very
someone
close-minded.
Every time someone black gets cast in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, it's like, are they related to Lando Calrissian?
Oh god! Every time a female guest star gets cast in new Doctor Who, they go, "Is she playing the Rani?" It's like, what?
Did you see the tweet that Mandip Gill put out of
Jodie Whittaker on her birthday?
Jodie Whittaker's birthday. Also, Jodie Whittaker is 37.
I don't believe that for a second. Actually, no. I'll tell you what. I know it sounds weird. I do in Broadchurch. I believe that she's in her mid to late 30s, in Broadchurch.
But just, I can't get my head around that.
Doctor Who, she just seems so tiny and youthful.
I can't get my head around it.
Yeah, like she's what? She'll be like the 4th youngest person playing the role. She's not even near the bottom. Like it's Matt, Peter, D. David was in his early mid 30s when he started. So Jodie would be like the 4th. Yeah, Jodie would be like the 4th youngest to play the part.
Madness.
I wonder how old McGann was when he got the role.
Timeless.
Oh yeah.
The way he's always been.
I've had several paintings in many attics around the world.
Backup paintings.
It's just what I do. I scatter them and stay youthful forever. We should hire Phoenix to redub those lines, shouldn't we?
But on the subject of remakes and reboots,
pay him in Power Rangers gifts. He'll love it.
Before we get into Child's Play.
Aye.
And Power Rangers gifts. Taika Waititi is apparently lined up to have a crack at a...
Sorry, just laughing at the word.
I know, right? At a animated Flash Gordon movie. Under the 20th Century Fox banner at Disney.
Okay. Well, Thor Ragnarok was basically a very elaborate backdoor pilot into a Flash Gordon-esque
Well, this is kind of why where this has come from.
I don't hate that, but it also seems, again, a little narrow-minded. Like, that guy sort of did Flash Gordon in that thing, so let's get him to do it.
Well, I think this is him...
Doesn't always work out.
This might be him chasing after it, so...
Oh, so it could be a passion project, and that passion for that property was visible in previous projects.
But it's been bouncing around.
Flash has been
for a while.
For donkeys.
Sam
Jones has talked about the fact that he was approached to voice him in something at one point.
Yes.
And there was another one that was meant to be like a passing of the torch kind of project. So that would be a continuation of the 70s movie, and it's just like, okay. I think you just do it again. Like, the 70s movie is an update of the comic books and serials that it's based on. So just if you're going to remake it, just remake it.
I mean, he could just be producing, but the rumours are that he's looking to direct or write. Julius Avery, who
Hello, I'm Ming the Merciless. How are you doing?
Fucking hell, Taika, we need to blame Ming the Merciless in that shirt. I mean,
I'd watch it. I'd watch the hell out of it.
So...
If Korg can pull off that look as well, I'm sure Ming the Merciless could. I love that they did that. Korg's just dressed as Taika Waititi. Brilliant.
Julius Avery, who wrote Overlord.
Oh yeah, our sort of what's it? Secret little love fest of a horror movie.
That was real good. Overlord was real good. Apparently he's been working on a new script, but that was for the live action iterations that have had at various points. Matthew Vaughn writing it, and people like J.D. Payne, Patrick McKay, Stephen E. D'Souza, etc., all handing in drafts.
Can you see Matthew Vaughn doing Flash Gordon?
He was attached to write, so I don't know.
Oh, right, okay.
But even so, probably not. Jane Goldman and Matthew Vaughn, maybe. But Matthew Vaughn on his own, I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if we... Flash Gordon's a great property. I don't know if we need another live-action one.
I think Matthew Vaughn would turn it into a parody.
Yeah. Which works for for one film, and then doesn't when you keep going. Kingsman! Kick-Ass! But, you know... I wouldn't hate Matthew Vaughn, but I don't know if we need a live-action Flash Gordon right now. An animated one tickles my taste buds more. Like, that gets me more excited. The thought of an animated movie based on that property. And don't do it as a, here's how he becomes Flash Gordon, like he becomes, the savior of the universe. Do it in media res.
Yeah.
And just bring us into that world. And sort of take note from Guardians, because that's the closest thing I can think of to a modern Flash Gordon-esque story.
Yeah.
Because Star-Lord being very much a man of Earth, like out in the middle of all that stuff, dealing with it, go that route. But don't cast Chris Pratt, please, people.
Please don't cast Chris.
Please don't cast him. So animated, yeah. Taika Waititi, yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Is the world crying out for a Flash Gordon movie?
Is the world crying out for anything, really?
Yeah. Peace, love.
Was the world crying out for a Child's Play remake?
It was not. But the movie industry has been since 2007. So, remakes are popping, boys and girls. They're here, there, and everywhere. And as you know, last week we reviewed extensively the Child's Play remake. We talked about it quite a lot, actually.
We got really balls deep in it.
Yeah, people never gave us feedback on it, though.
No. It's like people were listening to something else.
Yeah. So spoilers. We're not going to delve massively deep in spoilers for the new one, but we will not shy away from them. So
we're going to get into some things.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking spoilers for the original Child's Play and maybe some of the Chucky movies as well, and also some other films. So just be prepared.
Yes.
In the words of Jeremy Irons and Jim Cummings.
Spoilers abound for various things from this point on. Be aware.
Yeah, it's like being out in the real world. People are going to talk about stuff, and you might hear it and go, "Oh, I didn't need to know that yet." Yeah. But that's what listening to podcasts is, folks. It's voluntary torture for the ears.
Yes.
So, the Child's Play remake came out, and Well,
I think it was mostly successful, as we covered.
As I said, like I thought it was a really great sci-fi horror movie that was held down by its need to be ticking boxes to make it a Child's Play remake.
That absolutely was the weakest part of it.
It like Aladdin live action. Yeah. Every time it was like, we need to hit a note from the original, I was underwhelmed. Every time it did its own thing, I was like, this is great, do more of this.
It had so many of its own new, fresh ideas and repeated so little of what had come before that it felt weird when it did repeat those things.
It was Ghostbusters 2016 in a sense. Like, there's a fun movie in there, but then every now and again it's like, here's how they get Ecto-1. It's like, like the car from the original. Now I just want to watch the original. Here's where they find the logo.
Well, you're in luck because Ghostbusters 3 is the movie that you, as a fan, have been demanding.
I haven't been demanding any new Ghostbusters movie ever.
Please.
It's one of my top 5 favourite films ever, and I've never demanded anything beyond that one and the pre-existing Ghostbusters 2, which is alright.
Ghostbusters 2 is pretty good.
It is. I don't get in America it's really hated for some reason.
People do not like Ghostbusters 2.
I don't get it. It's more of the thing you like. It isn't an egregiously repetitive sequel.
Well, that's the biggest criticism I see of it. It's just like it's Ghostbusters again. It's like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's definitely nowhere near as good as the first, but it also isn't a bad movie.
No.
So it's like,
I like it a lot.
It's more of, and that's what you can do with the remake. That's why when this Child's Play remake was announced, initially it didn't sound like a horrible idea because the franchise had been dormant for a few years. 2007, Don Mancini reveals that he's in talks to remake the franchise, starting with a remake of Child's Play. Brad Dourif talked about it in 2008. I think it was.
It'd be weird if they started with the remake of Child's Play 3.
Yeah, God.
Especially at that time.
Oh, this is my rifle, this is my gun, this is for fighting, and this is for fun. Do we need the close-up shot of him grabbing his crotch?
Yes, I did. I needed it, specifically me.
Stop talking about killer dolls, Marky. Presto, you're bald.
Fucking hell.
In case you don't know, folks, I fucking love this series. So I was skeptical a lot about the remake.
Someone did a video series on it or something.
Yeah, in a way, like a watch of some sort, which we should probably do a new entry for if you think about it.
We'll do when it comes out on home media.
Yeah, I ain't buying it. You can buy it. We'll rent it. We'll borrow it. So we can hold it, put it in the scene somewhere, and then put it.
I'll get hold of a copy.
I have my ways. Don Mancini was originally attached to a remake/reboot of the franchise. Brad Dourif in 2008 talked to, I think it was Bloody Disgusting about it, saying like, yeah, it's happening. I've read a script for it. It's pretty great. It's very similar to the original, but certain things are different. It works for this time. I am involved. I'm going to be voicing him. People are like, you're going to be playing Charles Lee Ray in it? And he's like, you'll have to wait and see. So belief was that perhaps Charles Lee Ray was going to have less of a physical part and the doll was going to be much more prominent and as a vessel, blah, blah, blah. But, so it's like, okay, it's only been 3-4 years at that point since the last Chucky movie. Remakes are hugely in vogue at that point, and that is why it never happened. Because after the Friday the 13th remake in 2009 and the Nightmare on Elm Street remake in 2010, both of them suffered critically and financially, Universal and MGM, who obviously were on a joint effort for the first Chucky movie being remade, because MGM owned that one, Universal owned the rest of them.
Yeah.
They both went, yeah, we're not doing this. Like, it doesn't work, so we're not going to do it. So that was why it was left alone, and that was why Don Mancini eventually convinced Universal to give him a low budget, let him do a straight-to-DVD entry, carrying on the series. Thus we got Curse of Chucky, thus they made a shitload of money on a home video release, thus we got Cult of Chucky a few years later, making them more money on a home video release. So much so that Universal are like, yeah, no, we're going to be making another Chucky film at some point. And Sci-Fi and Don Mancini are like, we're releasing a TV show later this year.
Siffy.
The rumours are San Diego Comic-Con's going to feature like a reveal of some sort, either the launch of production teaser or a trailer, and that they've actually been quietly shooting some stuff. Not recently though, because Don Mancini came to the UK to watch one of the Spice Girls concerts. Because why not?
Why not?
But yeah, so it's Child's Play as a remake isn't necessarily a terrible idea, but knowing the series is going strong, it's like, what's the point? We know what the point is.
Money!
We've got to have money.
All of
Said
it, please.
MGM and Orion Pictures.
Well, MGM definitely fucking need it.
So this film, oh god, yeah. So this film, Child's Play, gets made and released, and the thing with it is, it's not, like we said, it's not a bad movie at all.
I think it's
a really cool sci-fi horror concept using modern technology as a point to create horror.
I think it's a good, fun, brisk, solid horror movie.
Its problem, the overriding one, is the shadow of its predecessor, of its originator, hanging over it.
Absolutely.
If the Buddy doll were not called Chucky and it was just called Buddy, and it didn't look like a Cabbage Patch Kid or a My Buddy doll from the 70s, and it looked more like a Texter or a Robo Sapien kind of thing, like an Ashley O from Black Mirror kind of dealio with a bit more mobile. If it looked like that, if the lead characters weren't called Andy and Karen Barkley and there wasn't a detective Mike Norris, it would exist in its own bubble.
What if it looked like a Bratz doll?
And it'd be... Oh, even that. Do you know what I mean? No, but like even just that wide head, like thinner body, kind of walking like that'd be great. And then it would be a new killer doll for a very sort of popular subgenre of horror based on things coming to life. Like it'd be like, oh wow, it's like Chucky, but with technology. And like you said before we recorded, they could still call it Child's Play.
Oh yeah,
because the premise is there, and MGM own that title. And there you go. It's like, yeah, God, they totally could.
They absolutely could.
They absolutely could. And if they played fair with Don Mancini, fuck it, they could do a crossover at some point if they wanted. They could make that work.
Their problem being, though, that the Child's Play name, because they're looking to get people who have nostalgia for the original, the Child's Play name is so intrinsically connected to Chucky as a character, or a version of Chucky, because this film is it's not the same. It's not even technically a character, but that they have to use that, or they feel they have to use that, because otherwise they won't have that leverage. I think that's a mistake on their part. But
I mean, even the attitude of it all as well kind of didn't help. They're releasing it at the same time as Toy Story 4.
Yeah, the marketing just came across as
bitter.
Yeah,
they've done another one. Annabelle Comes Home comes out this coming.
This
weekend.
Looks like it might be okay.
They've released a teaser poster, Child's Play, of the glass of her cabinet smashed, her head removed, and a butcher knife stuck in the neck, and Chucky's reflections mirrored in part of the glass. And the tweet read, "Chucky's already home. See the #1 horror movie in America's #1 horror movie in theaters right now. Buy your tickets here." And it's just like,
America's #1. It's the only horror movie in American cinemas.
Annabelle Comes Home, despite 2 weak predecessors, that's going to make way more money.
It's going to make all the money in the world.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, instead of just putting out a Child's Play remake, the business decision probably should have been, let's create a new thing and market it well. Like, because the marketing for Child's Play's been really sparse here in the UK. It's just been Instagram ads here in the UK, pretty much. Yeah. But in the US, it's been really creative and, like I said, a bit bitter, a little bit too cynical in places with the Toy Story stuff. But, like, it's interesting. And they've gone for it. Like, they've had a Kazlan website running for nearly a year now.
Yeah.
There's been a viral marketing tie-in to it. And, you know, you just create a new thing that could fit into that. But this brings me on to the topic of, like, what makes a worthwhile remake? What remakes work and why?
Well, I think you've got two categories of remake, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, you've got this is, we are redoing a re-adaptation of the same source material.
Mm-hmm. Be it a previous film or a book.
Well, no. Like, so, to go for my example is
the greatest remake of all time.
Which is Untitled The Thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's as much although it is kind of a remake of the Howard Hawks 50s Thing from Another World, it is also and primarily a new adaptation of
Who Goes There.
Who Goes There?
Yeah, which is the
novel.
Which Thing from Another World is based on.
Yeah. Very loosely.
Mm.
So that's one category of remake. The other category of remake is where you do straight up remake a film. So it's a film that's not necessarily based on something.
Yeah.
You're doing a new version. So almost like you're adapting an old film.
So Shaft.
Shaft. Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yes, which has had three versions. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 70s Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and the 2010s The Invasion.
No, because there's a 90s one as well.
There's a 90s one too? Jesus Christ! Yeah. Oh, so there's four of them then. Because the Daniel Craig, Nicole Kidman Invasion
The
is
Invasion is, yeah. And there was a TV show
hell.
which uses
How many more do you need?
Oh, yeah.
But the first one in that... But that's what I'm saying. There's no strict formulas to why it could work. But the one with... is it Donald Sutherland?
Yeah, the 70s one. Yeah.
That one worked because they recontextualized the concept of it. Invasion of the Body Snatchers is old school sci-fi horror featuring pod people replacing real people in the world, and somebody unearths that it's happening and tries to warn everybody. And it was based sort of on World War kind of infiltration paranoia and whatnot. The 70s one uses things like sort of the fear of the Cold War, and again like Russia infiltrating America and Soviet interference, and uses that kind of as its reason to exist at that time, and it just moves it into a modern day setting. So it resonated again with a whole new audience as a result because of that. Like there's certain things like that where the update just sort of means that the tale becomes a bit more. The tale is so timeless; it just needs the right setting.
Oh, you know what? I'm completely wrong. I'm completely wrong.
About the Val Kilmer one?
Well, yeah, Val Kilmer's not in the 90s one.
Oh.
But also, Invasion of the Body Snatchers is based on a novel. Called The Body Snatchers.
Alright. That's alright. Alright, well, Nightmare on Elm Street, there's an example.
Yes.
That's one derived directly from the film. And it doesn't, reasons a remake can be a good decision. If a storyteller has a take on it that makes the material resonate better with audiences. The first film doesn't necessarily have to be a bad film, but it misses an opportunity, and someone else has an idea of but what if?
Or it's an update thing where this film has a message which could be very appropriately updated to reflect today's society. Mm-hmm. Which is what they did with Body Snatchers. Yeah. Well, the 70s one at least.
Yeah.
They did it with...
Yeah, because Invasion didn't really have it at all.
They did it with The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yeah.
Not necessarily successfully.
Yeah, to
but they
thingy effect.
Yeah, they took the idea of it being a warning against nuclear war from the 50s one and changed it to a warning against global warming and environmentalism.
Yeah.
In the 2010s one with...
I am Klaatu.
Keanu Reeves.
Well, I think it's pre-2010s, actually.
2000... Yes, it would have been, because I saw it. This is when I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it on my way back. I had an afternoon and most of an evening to kill after I auditioned for Mount View. In 2008 it would have been.
So you were knocking about London.
So I was knocking about London. I had a few hours to kill, so I went to a cinema.
And paid £400 for popcorn. And a further £400.
I think I was in the bum end of London, so I think it was relatively cheap. And I watched Day of the Earth Stood Still, and I was like, that was fine.
This exists.
That was fine.
I think of a remake that responded to the popular culture at the time. 2011's Fright Night was a response to popular culture.
Yes.
So the original Fright Night is an 80s horror classic starring, funnily enough, Child's Play alum Chris Sarandon.
Mm-hmm.
As Jerry, a guy moves into the neighbourhood, and the kid next door immediately becomes suspicious that he might be a vampire. And the film's sort of renowned for its amazingly creepy practical effects. And the idea that like an old horror host of a TV serial thing is recruited by this kid because he's the first person you can think of as like, you'll know how to deal with vampires, and he's like, I don't have a fucking clue what's going on. And it's so it's got that quirky edge to it. The effects are creepy. The performances are fucking weird, especially his friend Eddie when he transforms and everything. It's a beloved sort of horror classic from the 80s for a reason. The sequel. Again, isn't necessary, but it's just an excuse to expand on the creepy visual effects and do more with it. Like, they go into the old school vampire lore of them turning into different sorts of creatures.
Yes.
You know, it's a lot of fun that it's got the iconic sort of big, wide, gaping mouth full of razor-sharp teeth instead of just big canines.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's got some great stuff going on. There's no need to remake it per se. But in 2011, the only vampires that had been in cinemas for a very long time were sparkly lovesick ones in love triangles with emo girls and werewolves.
Yeah.
And the popular culture was becoming zombie-obsessed again, in terms of horror, and classic horror fans were like clamoring for either something new or a return to the sort of monsters that they grew up with.
Yes.
So that team went, you know what? We could totally redo again. Motherfucking Fright Night. And it doesn't have as many of the practical effect creepy elements to it, but it's tense as hell. It stars talent of the time like Anton Yelchin, Christopher Mintz-Plasse.
The late Anton Yelchin, which is
he's amazing in that. You've got Jerry this time being played by Colin Farrell, who nails it.
Yes, Farrell. I think Colin Farrell gets a lot of shtick for
apparently being a bit of a tit.
But I think
he's great.
I think he actually has straightened himself out a bit in recent years.
I hope so. Because I hate it when you find out that people you really like are just utter bellends. Chris Pratt. So, but like they pay a lovely homage to the original by having him have a collision on the freeway, an argument, and then feast on this guy who's played by Chris Sarandon. So it's like, yay!
Oh,
I think even the credits, I think in the credits they even call him like Old Man Jerry or something like that. So it's like, yay, nice. But it's brilliant. They're like the horror channel host wouldn't work today. But a big wanky gothy magician guy who says he's into the occult.
Oh yeah,
some kind of amalgamation of Zach Bagans and Chris Angel. Let's do that.
Very Chris Angel.
So David Tennant spends the majority of the movie in tight leather pants, wearing eyeliner, and just being fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
That works, and there's only sort of one or two moments that are copied from the original or are nods to the original. It doesn't bog itself down too much beyond the premise.
Yes.
So as a result, that works, and it just sort of feels like a nice accompaniment to the original. Like, you can watch it, and you can watch some more modern actors do it.
Yeah.
When that doesn't work is Gus Van Sant's Psycho, for example.
Basically a shot-for-shot remake.
Bar, like, 2 additional shots and more of an emphasis that he's wanking whilst looking through the hole into the bathroom.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is this needed? That film is so pointless. And like, had he not released it to theatres, had it just been a weird experiment, fair enough. Like, as a filmmaker, I decided I'm going to remake this shot for shot.
Yeah.
Just to sort of see how, like, make a statement on how the technology's changed or how we can make things look. No, it's like, I'm remaking Psycho. What? One of the most critically lauded and celebrated movies of all time.
Yeah.
And the peak of the thriller and horror genres, and you're going to remake it?
That Gus Van Sant's a wanker, though.
Yeah, well...
He's an arrogant prick.
Yeah, that seems to be a theme.
It's him and his sort of troupe of Dogma 95 filmmakers. Lars von Trier is another one.
Yes.
They're just so fucking arrogant.
Weird, man.
I'm like, it's like, fuck off. Of course you're going to try and remake Psycho, you bellend. Hey, you listen.
It's just the perfect word. It
also, I was perusing through a list of remakes, and another one came to me, another category. Yeah. Third category, if you will.
A third category.
And that's the foreign language remake. Most commonly, in our, because we're in an English-speaking country, they're an American or British remake of a foreign language film. There was a real wave of them in the early 2000s, early mid-2000s of remaking Japanese, Korean, Chinese horror movies.
God, Old Boy, like, obviously not so much a horror movie, more of a thriller, but like, the Old Boy remake.
The Ring, Dark Water, The Grudge.
Yes.
All that kind of stuff.
There's loads of the buggers.
Yeah. They're more, and less in the genre field, you've had things like The Departed. Martin Scorsese's The Departed is a remake of a film called Infernal Affairs.
Now to me, that's less sort of an offence in a way, because it's like
it's not much
I
an offence.
get it, like Western audiences interpret cinema differently, and sometimes tonally they don't grasp onto foreign cinema as well. So let's do a Western remake set in the US.
But what tends to happen then is you
just call it, this is the American version. There it is.
Yeah, well,
which can be especially in television, can be terrible.
But what you do
until they release the shackles of trying to be like the old thing.
Is
like The Office.
Those foreign language films might not, understand the feel of Western cinema, but then invariably a lot of the filmmakers who tackle remaking the films for an English language audience don't grasp the nuances of the original material, and it just loses something in translation. Like, there aren't a lot of them.
Old boy.
Well, yeah, there aren't a lot of them that come to mind for me where I'm like, that was successful.
Have they ever remade Is She the Killer?
I don't believe so.
Leave it alone, guys. Don't do it.
I've not seen Is She the Killer, but I would like to.
It's uncomfortable.
I gather it is very uncomfortable.
I'm trying to think of others that just sort of exist in that weird little mid-space where they don't quite justify their own existence, but they're also not terrible movies per se. Go with The Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah,
the American version of that isn't terrible.
I think I actually prefer the Fincher version because it's oozing style, whereas the Swedish original is fairly restrained. It's almost like a high budget TV movie, which is ironic because then the second and third were TV movies. It might have been, the first one might have even been, but they just got a theatrical release over here. Yeah, possible. Yeah, that's true. It just didn't land with people. But I think, but that's another one where, I think it's good, but it didn't need to be done because I watched all three of those original Swedish ones subtitled, and like, you didn't need to remake them. No. You didn't need to redo them. But also in that case, that falls under the book adaptation. Yes, thingy. Also it is because we're about to get the fourth book adapted into a film. That's happened. That's not connected. Has it already been out? That's been and gone. Yeah, no one cares. That's not connected. To either of the film adaptations before it. Certain ones work, and here's some of that thought. Certain ones work when they are star vehicles, and you are remaking a story based around the personality and performance of your leads. That's what happened with A Star Is Born several times. I was going to say like that. I'm surprised we've not touched on that one because that's the most remade specifically film ever. Like, it was a shorter film from the old school black and white era. Then the 50s one that is sort of the most sort of well-known version. I'm going to see if I can find a list of them. To the Point Happened. I think this is right. Is that one? Then it's the 70s one with Christopherson and Midler. Was it about Midler? Was it Streisand or Ben? I think it was Barbra Streisand. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was Barbra Streisand. Then there was a Bollywood one in the late 90s, early 2000s that's not strictly A Star Is Born, but is credited as based on A Star Is Born. According to the Wikipedia, there's only 4 A Star Is Borns. Yeah, before the 1937, the 1954, the 76, which is the Barbra Streisand, Christopherson, and the 2018, which is Bradley Cooper, Lady Gaga. Yeah. There are more. If you go onto the article for remakes. One of the originals, Yes, Ashiki 2 is an unofficial remake in Hindi, and then it was remade, that was remade. Oh my god! In Telugu, in Telugu as Nijathaga Nidundali. Yeah. Oh, because in that area of Asia, there's like different versions of cinema. There's Tollywood, Bollywood, bloody Collywood. I'm not even kidding. These are the names of them. Like, it's so many different sort of languages and dialects and cultural things that are different within that region that they every country has its own film industry. But it was interesting that in that one it's a case of like, there's a Hindi one and then there's a further one within the Bollywood spectrum. It's like, oh my god. Also, here's one that I think definitely works, but it's because they use the personality / performances of their leads to drive what sort of version they're doing. Yeah. And it's the Birdcage. The Birdcage is a remake of La Cage aux Folles,
which is a wonderfully oddball French farce. It's a comedy. It's really strange. It's got a stage adaptation that's a well-known musical, which is in English, but it's based on the original film.
Yeah.
But The Birdcage is an American remake of La Cage aux Folles, starring Nathan Lane and Robin Williams. The majority of it's so good, but the strength of it comes from their performance.
Yes.
And setting it where it is, like is it Miami or somewhere, like it's that kind of stretch. It's a bit more of the nightclub scene of America.
Yeah, it's like one of the liberal coastal areas of the States. I can't remember exactly where. It's been years since I've seen The Birdcage.
But we're gonna have to have a bloody movie night, ain't we? We should crack on with a remake comparison thing.
Something I've been wanting to do for a while is go more into remakes, and there are various people doing this all over the web of going more into like the differences between remakes, what was awesome, because you know me, I'm obsessed with the War of the Worlds in its various forms.
And
that's been remade.
And the two upcoming interpretations.
That BBC one just disappeared off the radar.
Yeah, it's like there's no announcements, no teasers.
There was a trailer for it with some with
it was part of the New Year's thing, wasn't it?
With a glimpse of the tripod, and then that's it. And they shot it before Christmas.
I'm wondering whether or not they've gone back to touch up more stuff, or they've put the budget elsewhere briefly, and it's been stalled.
And then there's the American one, which is going to go into production later this year.
Speaking of going to production, I've got a bit of a challenge for us.
Yes.
To have a bash out for a short while. So, Child's Play got remade, and as we said, it's sort of a remake in everything except the name and names of some of the characters.
Yes.
But what it does is it modernizes a horror classic by bringing it very much into now. Like, the stuff that the Buddy dolls can do only can happen now.
Okay.
Horror's probably the most remade genre out of all of them. It
happens, yeah.
And there are remakes on their way. There are remakes in recent years. But what I want to know is, can we take a few classic horror films and remake them with the strict rule that they have to technologically fit into now?
Oh!
So not necessarily like, it's Friday the 13th, but it's over quicker because people have got their phones, so they phone for help. Like, not like that. It's like we as a studio are mandating that you have to force technology into the story.
So you have to
somehow.
Black Mirror that shit up.
Yeah, like not necessarily you can make the technology scary. You could just have it be a part of the plot. But we're pandering, Matt. We're pandering to an audience.
Okay.
Who apparently love iPads. Them kids love the iPads.
They do love the iPads.
So we've got to iPad it right up with a classic horror film of some form. I'll kick off. We've already had a Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Yes.
But surely we need another Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Sure we do.
Where Freddy doesn't win or even interact with the kids because they stay up all night on their goddamn phone. So he sort of drifts in those moments when they're dozing off a bit and just appears in YouTube videos and Instagram photos. Yes. So they're just trolling Instagram at 4 a.m. like, still, he just pops up on the occasion lad. He's like, hi! Scroll up. He's gone. He's like, oh, God.
And then all the articles.
He has to keep climbing down.
There's all the articles on Fox News and the Daily Mail on Good Morning Britain. Is the Kruger Challenge? What is it doing to our children?
Or Freddy Krueger is a program. Is a virus that gets uploaded into sleep apps. So a company's trying to kill a load of teenagers.
I hate it so much.
How many times have you started a YouTube video lately? It's been like that. Hi, when was the last time you took the time to actually...
Fuck off.
Yeah. Well, imagine if those apps, Matt, which teenagers are definitely using. Imagine if they had a virus in it called Freddy Krueger.
I hate what you're saying to me right now. I hate every word that's coming out of your mouth.
You can totally see someone going, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I know, that's what's so upsetting about it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. God.
Yes. So that's my Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy Krueger is a virus in a sleep app, which I suppose makes him more of a subliminal hypnotic slasher killer then instead, isn't it?
You remake Videodrome, but instead of it being an underground TV channel, Videodrome's a camgirl site.
Oh my god! See, I thought you were gonna go like, it's a streaming service. No, that's fucking brilliant. That's hilarious because that still keeps the horror thing of actually kind of narrowing it down. So we need the story to be narrowed down so we follow this selection of people.
Yeah.
And, there's obviously millions of people watch camgirl sites.
It's an underground dark
less
web.
than, say, Netflix.
Snuff camgirl site.
Oh! See, I don't hate that.
I mean, I kind of do, but...
I don't hate that.
It's going to get made now, isn't it?
Oh, God. Yeah, we don't
know.
hold copyright over any of these ideas, movie studios. If you're listening, you're more than welcome to make them. Just know that we're doing this to come up with ideas that are deliberately kind of shit. So if you do pick them, you're deliberately making shit. Enjoy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another one. Chucky one out there. Go on. Hit me. Ow. I pick one.
Remake Candyman.
Okay.
But return it to its original British setting because it's based on a Clive Barker short story.
Yeah.
In impoverished areas of probably London.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of black youth involved in crime or believed to be involved in crime because of lower income situations. Have the Candyman stuff not just spread as graffiti and hearsay, but also virally online through your Instagrams, your Twitters, your things like that.
Yeah, your Snapchat. Snapchat specifically because you could pinpoint areas.
Yeah.
And keep it into that area. Keep
Yeah.
it into the city.
And just basically just make it again, but with social networking as a method for spreading his legend as and such.
You've got to upload a video of yourself saying Candyman 5 times into your webcam.
Well, that's how it gets out. Is someone does a
live stream.
Someone does a live stream of it, and the murder goes viral. Like, is this fake? Is this real?
That's something that no one has actually done yet, have they?
If they have, it's been done in a movie that I've not seen
yet. Film to do something with supernatural horror where more people see it. Do you know what I mean? They've done like Unfriended and like some webcam horrors where it's been like horror going on in a chat room with a ghost and things like that. But no one's ever done something where it's like
you would think
Instagram catches footage of something fucking supernatural and the country and the world talk about it.
They've probably touched on things like that.
The closest we've had to a horror film scenario where social media captures something horrific for the world to see is that kid talking to Superman at the start of Justice League.
That is a horrifying effect.
It runs like a river. What's wrong, child? Your face!
Your face!
Your face!
Why is your face broken?
It's floating in the middle.
No, actually, I think there's definitely a thing to be mined there. It's about wondering about working out how you would fit that sort of viral social media stuff into it. Because in an age of YouTube and video sites and streaming sites like Twitch, why isn't more found footage stuff done through those mediums? But also, I guess with YouTube, like if it's a found footage thing and someone ends up and everyone dies at the end, as they do in so many found footage films, who's uploading the videos?
Yeah.
But again, you could make that part of the mystery.
Yeah.
So there's a recent released film called it was made in the early 2000s but was never released until recently, called the Pepsi Tapes, which is a sort of documentary style film where it's all these tapes that have been recovered of this serial killer who it's revealed during the movie is still at large, but they found these tapes of some of the horrible things he's done. So something like that with like an anonymous like YouTube or Twitch account uploading these horrific things could be kind of a that you could go through things with that. Yeah, that's your angle for things like that. American
Werewolf in London. How would you do that? Because I know what would fundamentally change immediately. You couldn't hide in a porn theatre in central London in the last act.
No, definitely not. How would technology affect that? That's a weird one. I
mean, the opening would be the same, because you can't get any fucking 4G to find out where you're going in the middle of the Dales. I've spent a week in the Dales last week. You don't get 4G anywhere.
Also, the ritual is like the first half of the first bit of American Werewolf in London, but a film, and without werewolves, it's a different thing going on. You should watch the ritual; it's good. No, I think with something like that, you would again. It becomes about social media and a connected world spreading the information quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you get with so many old horror films is part of what creates the tension is that whatever danger it is often moves faster than information can travel.
Yeah, like it happens, and it's like only a certain amount of people witness it, or are there as it's happening before they're killed off. Yeah.
And they can't get the word out to other people. They can't.
Oh my god!
You
extend the ending, and you go the chronicle route of showing people nearby filming it.
Yeah.
So you see him transformed and legging it through Piccadilly Circus and stuff from the POV of everyone else.
Or you have it sort of
That's actually a good idea.
An amnesiac. What, are we not doing good ideas? I'm trying to do good ideas.
I'm
a professional, motherfucker.
I'm halfway housing.
I don't know what I'm professional of.
Any idea we come up with for an American Werewolf in London will be better than the film that's definitely not going to get made now, that was a remake in production, being written and directed by a notorious...
Lax Mandis.
Yeah.
What a prick.
What an absolute prick.
What a piece of shit.
If a wolf could bite his cock off, that'd be great.
To think we, at one point, thought he was a decent screenwriter. So, yeah, I think that's kind of what you have to do, is you kind of have to... Any update of an older horror movie has to kind of take that into account.
Yeah.
Or find a way of getting out of it.
Well, that's why I think a lot of horror movies in the last sort of 10 years, like The Witch and things like that, have tried to set their films in the wilderness. Because they're trying to disconnect.
The Witch is also a period piece.
Oh, not The Witch then. What am I thinking of? What was the one set in the Suicide Forest?
Oh, The Forest.
The Forest.
With Natalie Dormer.
Yeah. And there was the one, I can't remember what it was, it was a stag weekend, it was a British horror
That's
one.
The Ritual.
That's The Ritual.
Yeah.
And a few others, and they're trying to set the Midsommar is about to come out.
Oh, that looks really good.
Films in a place where you don't get phone signal.
Yeah.
Which is sort of upsetting in a way, because it's like, I wonder how long this is going to last, because eventually it will become boring that every horror film is set where people don't get a phone signal.
But you have to take that off the table.
You do.
Or else it breaks all the
tension. Or you just set it at a different time if you want to do it really quickly.
I fucking love
period horror.
Like recent history period pieces.
Yeah.
So anything that's made now that is set in like the 80s to the early 2000s, I am there for.
Okay, then with that in mind,
therefore
Frankenstein. He buys all the body parts off a gum tree.
ITV
He doesn't dig them up, he buys them off a gum tree.
ITV did a modern Frankenstein, it was shit.
It wasn't great. Do you remember when BBC Three did that live musical one?
No.
That was great. It was this. They went through a phase where they were doing some live events, and they did it in, I think it was Edinburgh Castle or somewhere. Like it was staged there, and as an audience watching, it was a concert, but it was using parts of the building for certain scenes, and it was live streamed. That was the first time I heard Wires by Athlete.
Yeah,
was in that. And I was like, oh, God, that's a really good song. And it was really cool. Like, it was really, really cool. Who's your man who was in, I think he played Ernie Wise in Eric and Ernie. Dude Leo.
Andy Dick.
Yeah. What? Andy Dick?
No.
What the fuck? Hi, I'm Andy Dick.
No, it's not Andy Dick. It's Brian Dick.
Is it?
I think it is.
B Dick.
I know him vaguely.
I was going to say you worked with him at some point.
Yeah.
He was Victor Frankenstein in that
nice.
thingy, and he had a great singing voice. Like, it was really good. Do you know? It's just one of those where you're like, okay, that was them just sort of telling it in a modern-ish setting, using a historical place and doing, filming stuff and this, that, and the other.
Yeah, Brian Dick.
Brian Dick. B Dick. BD. I think if you're doing Frankenstein now and the studio was trying to force modern technology into it in a way, it would be using the internet to get everything done and arranged. It wouldn't be in a castle somewhere. They'd be doing it in a basement of like an apartment building or something, so that they could, use the technology in the area as like a signal boost to create the waves that. They drain the local power to do the experiment, not use the lightning conductors.
There'd be some sort of silicon...
Taking away the visually cool moment of fucking lightning hitting those things and breathing life into a corpse.
There'd be some sort of Silicon Valley startup that's a cover for the Frankenstein.
The monster would have technology built in as well, because they wouldn't be able to resist that. It would be cybernetic. On that note,
much as it is.
As a continuation of Child's Play 2019,
yes,
how do they do and they can't for legal reasons. For many legal reasons, they're not allowed to do this.
Yeah.
But how do they do Bride of Chucky for 2019 Chucky? I think it has to be. I think he has to come back long after Andy is either gone or Andy is off the table. There's no way he's going to be able to find Andy easily, and he needs to create something to love. I think he makes another thing out of another buddy doll and calls it Andy. So your Bride of Chucky is he makes his own Andy.
I think you don't have Andy in a sequel because...
Well, unfortunately, he's so detrimental to... not detrimental, he's so essential to this Chucky's motivation.
This Chucky is now in the cloud, right?
Well, that's never confirmed, but implied by the sequel beta shot.
It would be confirmed by a sequel. It would be confirmed by the hypothetical sequel that I'm pitching right now.
That was so dumb at the end.
It's like... What do you expect?
It doesn't make sense in any way. The chip was what was corrupted, not the fucking AI.
He's a virus now.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. He is in my sequel, which I'm pitching right now. He is.
Okay, all right.
No, he's in the cloud.
Keep pointing at me. I'm going to suck your finger, essentially.
Yeah, do it. No, don't. You don't know where it's been.
You don't know where my mouth's been.
Oh, God.
Oh, good Lord.
So, it's...
It's been... So, for starters, he's got to be made... Somehow he's got to be made from the remains of the shot and broken doll.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does, because he's got scars on his face.
Got ya.
Ah.
So, this is what he does.
Oh, actually, I've got an idea for this. So, go on, yeah.
Yes. So, he's in the cloud.
Yeah.
So, he finds himself a new body, but it's one of the Buddy 2s.
A bear?
No, just one of the
Buddy
I'd
2s. Love that.
Any of the Buddy 2s.
I'd love if it was a bear.
Well, it doesn't matter, because what he does is he disfigures the Buddy 2 to make himself look like the old face. So he cuts up the face and redoes it. So he's got his old facial features.
That's horrible, yeah.
And bits of... steals ginger hair from a bunch of off-brand Barbies or something.
Staples it in.
So it's that's where you get your scarification from. And he's moved on from Andy, but he needs someone to love. So yeah, he builds himself a bride from whatever he can.
People.
He's trying to bring.
He meets them on a dating app and kills them and starts to stitch them together. Bride of Frankenstein style. They're made from corpses of other people.
It's Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh my god, they're made from the corpses of other teenagers who are on dating apps.
It's Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh, he tries to make them look like Andy. Sorry, go on. I just like the idea of him becoming the Frankenstein to a monster of his own creation, and that's the bride of Chucky.
It's Bride of Frankenstein, but Chucky is both Frankenstein and the monster, and he's trying to build himself a bride by bringing other toys, non-Kazlan toys, to life.
So that's how they bring in old school toy aesthetics.
Yeah.
But it's set in the modern day, Matt, so wouldn't those toys just be iPads with all the fabulous apps on them that you can buy and download on now, kids? Please buy our apps and download stuff using your parents' credit card.
Yes.
So his bride is an iPad on legs.
Yeah. He watches a lot of Pornhub.
Are we having fun now?
He just finds himself on Pornhub.
He's just humping this
on the clouds.
He's just humping a pair of mannequin legs with a tablet on the top. Are we having fun now?
Yes.
Just before he nuts, he says, "This
one's for
2-pack."
Yes!
Give me 3 tickets through Fandango.
I will not. I will give you 3 emails, though.
I was going to say, from old technology to new technology.
A trio, a brace.
They've sent ravens through the winterwebs.
A brace of ravens.
A brass of ravion.
This one. That's not the right email inbox. That's mine. That's not the big damn one. Okay. This one comes in from Jacob. Says, "Hey up, Chucky."
Hello, Jacob, you little bugger.
Oh shit, it's your 3rd anniversary already. This has been my favourite podcast since episode 1. And it will continue to be until a time when it's shit. I'm kidding, of course.
It was already shit.
You're more correct than you know, Jacob. Thank you for all the laughs over the past 3 years. Love, Jacob.
Oh, Jacquin.
P.S. Which minor villains would you like to be introduced into the Marvel Cinematic Unitage during Phase 4?
First use of that word in year 4.
Oh, yes.
Talking about Phase 4. It's all about the 4. Doom.
Paste Pot. Minor villains.
Oh.
Paste Pot Pete.
Can he play a minor role? Can
Paste
Doctor
Pot
Doom
Pete.
play a minor role and sow the seeds for later?
Paste Pot Pete.
So not even the Trapster.
Nope, Paste Pot Pete.
Paste Pot Pete.
Maybe you're making the Trapster, but
No.
you've got to introduce him as Paste Pot Pete.
Can he originally have been called Paste Pot Pete? Now he's going as the Trapster, and whoever the hero is who keeps beating him down in the film keeps calling him Paste Pot Pete. He's like, I changed my name!
I'll take it.
I changed my name!
Like, why is your supervillain alias based on your real first name?
Hi, Pete. Stop calling me that!
It's not Pete!
It's not Pete! Okay, Paste Pot Pete. Stop it! Stop calling me Paste Pot Pete! I'm the Trapster! And that's any better.
That's not better. It's not better.
That'd be cool.
But also, he's part of the Frightful Four.
Yes.
So, if you want to do the Frightful Four, well, so's Medusa, so you'd have to replace Medusa. Or just ignore the MCU Inhuman show. Let's do that one. Let's ignore the MCU Inhuman show.
Like everything except the Contest of Champions app has done. I got Karnak in that the other day. I was like, oh my god. Oh. It's just a dude in a coat.
Oh.
Alright. Alright. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys, for the MCU design. Cheers.
Yeah, an alternate costume would be fine.
Armadillo. Just for a giant dude in an armadillo suit. Because there's no way they're going to get around to Rhino. So just do Armadillo.
By the same token.
By the power of Grayskull.
The Porcupine.
Fuck. Yes.
Obscure Iron Man villain who has a suit covered in quills which are all also individual weapons, but they're all shaped the same.
Yeah, because reasons.
The eel. He's just real slippery.
Oh god, yeah, that is his power. Oh my god, that'd be quite funny though.
The Melter.
Who's the Melter?
He melts things.
Oh fuck.
No! He does, he melts things, an Iron Man villain. From the 60s, he melts things. He has a beam that melts metallic things.
Could he call the Smelter?
I suppose.
He smelt it,
He's
you dealt it.
Oh!
So just before Thor punches him out, he says, you smelt it, you dealt it.
Tries to melt this hammer, and it's like, no, this is my hammer.
By Grabtha's Hamu,
yes.
You should be reviewed.
You listen to me.
Yeah,
oh god, there's so many to choose from. There's so many ridiculous villains.
God.
Ridiculous minor Marvel villains.
Frogman? I mean, Frogman would be pretty freaking great.
Well, he's reformed, isn't he? Well, the second Frogman is reformed.
Yeah, the first one, eh?
Yeah, that's true.
Frogman! Frogman! It's a dude who literally just looks like a frog.
Seeing as we never got him in Daredevil.
Stiltman. Yeah, we saw the stilts. They exist.
Stiltman.
The stilts exist in the MCU.
Please give us Stiltman.
No, give us the Stiltman who was a woman who was still called Stiltman, and you used to get really annoyed that people called her Stiltman.
No, she's called Lady Stiltman.
That was it. Yeah. Oh god.
Give us Lady Stiltman.
Lady Stiltman.
Please.
So why did you go with that? Well, the costume was designed for someone called Stiltman, right? Why are you called Lady Stiltman?
Oh, I need MCU Lady Stiltman in my life. And they should all be Spidey villains because you can rip the piss out of them. Well, he beats them really easily.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, man, Ruby Thursday would be quite a funny one.
Ruby Thursday.
Give her her own film. Sod it. Ruby Thursday. Bloody hell. She has a red ball for a head and it can extend weapons and hit things.
Should they introduce Swiss Miss from the Spider-Man musical?
No. But I'll accept Swarm.
Oh yes, you've got to have Swarm in there.
I've been plowing through. I'm still plowing through JMS era Spidey. I finished Civil War tie-in for Amazing Spider-Man, and I just read Peter Parker, a Spider-Man for Civil War, which is actually Sensational Spider-Man. And there's a subplot in that about it's called The Deadly Foes of Peter Parker. Because Chameleon basically leads a small cadre to be like, right, you're going to kill his wife, you're going to kill his aunt, because this is after they're still in Stark Tower, they're not on the run yet.
Yeah.
And he's like, and us lot heavy hitters are going to go after him. And May gets one of the most badass moments ever, where she poisons him because he tastes almonds and he faints. Then it turns out she just crushed up like 4 Anodins or whatever.
That's brilliant.
And been like just knocked him out with them. Wait for Peter to get back. She
good.
crochets the word gotcha into a blanket as he realises it's happened. It's like, oh my god, you were great. But Mary Jane fights off Swarm at the theatre where they're rehearsing Macbeth. And one of the actors who's a stuntman, as soon as he emerges, this purple cloak and a man made of bees emerges. Like, this guy swings around one of the sandbags and just smashes it into the skeleton and disperses the bees for a moment. And then Mary Jane turns on the sprinkler system.
Brilliant.
Because, of course, it's too heavy. So the bees start to get hit by the water. But then it's a really creepy visual. Because the skeleton just sort of clambers out of it and lunges at her. And you're like, oh, that's horrifying. And then the guy hits it with a prop mace on the head. And takes it out. And then the bees start to creepily push the skeleton back together.
Of course.
It's really, really freaky.
What about Paper Doll?
Oh, that's a Brand New Day era
That's a
villain,
Brand New
isn't
Day
it?
villain.
That'd be a good one. Oh, yeah. I'd be up for that, especially if you did it in a thingy context, like it ties into MJ's career somewhat and it becomes a thing, because Zendaya would totally kick the ass of Paper Doll. Yeah. She'd kick her ass.
Yeah. I can dig it.
That's a great pull.
Yes, you can. She's one of the standout villains, I think, of that Brand New Day.
How many of them have survived? Menace stuck around in different guises,
I have no idea.
Because she became the Goblin Queen later and stuff. She stuck around.
Yes.
I think that's it from that era.
I don't know if Paper Doll.
Oh, no, hang on. Was it
Speedball? Not Speedball. She's in the game.
Oh, Jesus. Oh my God, what's her name?
YouTuber.
I hate her so much. And yet in the best way, because it's like they made it.
Yeah, because she's so obnoxious. She's not called Speedball. What's she called?
Oh my God, what's she called? I put her away before Christmas. Finally got arrested in the DLC, and I was so happy.
What's she called?
What's the internet villain from Spidey PS4?
Yeah, she puts everything on YouTube, and she's always filming you. And what's she called?
It begins with S, doesn't it?
Yeah, because I thought Speedball, but that's not.
No, it's Speedball.
Yeah, because it's not Speedball.
It's not Speedball. It's not Speedball. But it's good lord.
I was thinking that you were talking about the wizard when I was in there.
No, I'm not talking about the wizard.
Oh my God, what's the name? We're completely blanking on.
I am looking it up via the Spider-Man PS4 IMDb page.
Oh my God!
As we speak, I'm gonna kick myself when I see it. I know I am. It's gonna be something really, really, really obvious. What is their name?
If you hadn't asked me what her name is, I'd have probably been like, oh yeah, it's such and such.
Screwball.
Oh my God.
So you see why I went to Speedball now?
Yeah, just balls.
I literally had one job.
Balls.
He's always thinking of balls.
Oh
God.
Screwball.
Screwballs. Yeah, she stuck around. After all that. Yeah, she took around.
Screwball.
A Massacre, I think, came back.
Massacre?
Was that his
Massacre's
name?
a bit dark for the MCU.
Yeah, well, he came back, didn't he, for Superior. Because Octavius kills him.
Yeah.
He's in Contest of the Champions as a slightly more wacky character who's dressed as Deadpool. And I was really confused by that. Because I was like, I'm sure there's another character. Is there two Massacres in Marvel?
Well,
and I was like, no, that's just what they did. Because of Contest of Champions as original characters in the event, sometimes like Civil Warrior and things like that.
Yeah,
so
Guillotine was originally in the game. I think they've introduced her in the comic.
Yeah, no, she's been retroactively popped in there. So it's like, okay, whatever. But yeah. That'd be a bit dark. Screwball would be a great one in the MCU.
Screwball would be good.
Hey, movie studios, definitely do it, because she streams, right? And she uses technology, so there you go.
Yep.
There you go, Jacob.
It's the Spider-Man from YouTube. Do a flip! This one comes in from Lewis.
Hey, Lewis.
Says, greetings all. Happy 3 years.
Happy Lewis.
Doesn't feel like 3 years since that first step came out, but needless to say, I've loved every single mental minute. Whether it's listening to Matt ranting about Pokemon Go, an in-depth description of the Arkham games, a weird and wonderful trip through every Christmas movie ever, or a 4-hour-long crusade through Game of Thrones, this podcast has always been a highlight of my week and never ceases to make me laugh when I'm feeling down. I genuinely look forward to hearing what you two think of the latest indie news, and I adore how varied the content of the podcast is. Here's to many more years of the Big Damn Cast. All the best. Thank you, Lewis!
Bless you, Lewis, for your eyes and your thighs.
Eyes, thighs, teeth and tits. Tom.
Teeth and tits. He sent them in with the email.
There are also...
Teeth in tits is a whole different...
Teeth in tits is a very different
But
thing.
it's also a thing that I saw on Twitter like 2 days ago, so... Yeah.
What?
I'm very worried about what you do when I'm
It was some like weird horror studio posting a picture of one of their new like prosthetic animatronic builds, and it's literally teeth, like tits with teeth.
Why?
I don't know. It's from some kind of movie, but
Is the mouth like underneath the breast? So it
no,
sort of, like opens up, or
the nipple and the areola
would a mouth
is a mouth.
Why?
I don't know.
Why? Would
Someone
anyone
retweeted
want
it and
that?
it showed up on my timeline. I have no other context than that is a thing.
You went looking.
No, it was
You
like
went looking.
it was
You're like,
like-
do you know what? Do
'cause-
you know what's doing it for me right now? The thought of a breast biting
because
me.
it was one of those where I was scrolling through my timeline and I did the Twitter equivalent of a double take. Like,
Her buns are the
what
best.
the fuck is that? But it's like a torso animatronic.
Oh, so it's even more bizarre.
Yeah.
Like it's not on a performer or
No.
Oh god, that's weird.
It was really fucking weird. I'd look it up, but I don't want to see it ever again.
That's fine by me, Sonny Jim Laddie boys.
This one comes in from Tom Monty.
Tobias Montague.
He says, "Dear Chris and Matt, emphasis mine. Happy 3rd anniversary. It seems only yesterday that I first emailed in to talk about how much I adored BBC's Class.
God, that was year one. That was year one. That
was
wasn't it?
year
I think
one.
Class.
Class.
Yeah,
That was the overarching. That was the big bad of the first season. Did either of you watch FX's What We Do in the Shadows?
Yes.
Since the film is one of my favourites of all time, I was really looking forward to it, and I was not disappointed. If you have, who was your favourite of the three main cast? Mine has to be Laszlo because Matt Berry's lovely. Same for the original film. Very hard to choose, but Deacon is my fave. Of the new cast, I fucking adore Nadja. Because not only have I not seen Natasha Demetriou in anything else, so like she just kind of appeared out of nowhere and she's piss funny in it.
Yeah.
Like really funny. But she's also
perfect in
got the same she's also got the same knack that John Krasinski had in The American Office of playing the documentary framing and always knowing when to find the camera and just give it a look.
Yeah.
And it just sets off so many moments perfectly. Also, I mean, all three of them are good at this, but her particularly, she is very good at saying absolutely ridiculous, hilarious things completely deadpan.
Yeah.
Whereas Matt Berry plays it up a little bit.
He
knows he's funny.
He Matt Berries it from time to time
Yeah.
as well. There's a couple of moments...
Which is... it's why they cast him.
There's a couple of moments, I think it was the 9th one, where it's just like, this is toast.
Yes.
Like, you're just being toast, but I'm so along for the ride at this point, I don't mind that I'm seeing something that I've already seen from you.
I think I saw an interview with him recently where he was like, I really want to do a full series of Toast of London, but I'm a victim of my own success. I'm really busy on What We Do in the Shadows, and Year of the Rabbits just started.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do it.
I'm a fan of Nando, I think, the most.
Yeah?
Because he's just... I don't know. There's just something about that delivery.
I mean, Kayvan Novak's fucking spectacular.
He's great. And again, it took me about 4 episodes before I was like, "Oh Jesus, it's Facejacker!" Like
Yeah.
I only just realised,
Yeah.
about 4 episodes in. But it's just he sort of embodies. He's the character who's most like sort of our main three from the film.
Yeah,
Like, he sort of has a lot of shared traits from those guys.
Yeah.
Some visual, some sort of behavioural, and you know, his sort of pithy, more sort of snarky attitude towards humans sometimes, especially.
Well, his interplay with
especially
Guillermo is
toward Guillermo.
fantastic.
Have you finished it?
Yeah.
That last episode was wonderful because I was like, oh my god, this sitcom with very loose story threads has just set up the premise for next year. My god, that's brilliant. Well done.
It's just so good. It was just that actor as well, whose name I do not recall, but who plays Guillermo, who is... She called it, of course she fucking called it. But yeah, just his face when he looks at the stakes.
Yeah.
It's just so good! Oh, it's such a... I'm really pleased it's getting a second season, and I'm really pleased that it built on the premise of the original movie so well.
Yeah. Whilst also... for those continuity buffs being like, yes, the original movie still exists.
Yeah, I really liked
guys.
that they straight up just turn up in the Vampire Council episode.
Yeah. But also, like, this is the second show based on that film, because there is one already with the two police officers.
Oh,
That's
the
a New Zealand
Wellington Paranormal?
Yeah, which is exclusively, it was just one series.
You can't get it all of it over it, really.
It's not been canned, but it's not currently, like, in production for a second series.
Yeah.
And at one point they were doing We Are Wolves, which was a spin-off film.
Yes.
Based on the Werewolf Pact from the first one.
On the back burner now.
That's on the back burner. But, like, it's a thought that, wow, that one daft documentary movie is sort of inspiring more content set within this world. Lucy adores it because she loves vampire stuff, but, like, especially because of how deep they go into vampire lore, and again with, like, the sort of creature transformations and things like that, how well they... It's sort of like... I haven't seen anything like this really since sort of Buffy, in terms of, like, here's what different vampires at different ages and that sort of
it's
look
also
like.
It's done with a clear love for
horror
vampire fiction and horror
movies
movies.
showing up.
And it's just
God, well, just the cameos in the council one, like, so many of them specifically
fabulous.
vampire fiction related and stuff. It was like, this is brilliant.
They actually fucking...
And they're just using their names, like...
I cannot believe they got Wesley Snipes. That's fucking ridiculous.
Well, they didn't get Wesley Snipes.
Well...
They Skyped Wesley Snipes.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like...
Which was perfect.
But it's just... Good luck getting Wesley Snipes to leave the house.
Yeah,
he's only recently been allowed.
And when they paid him, they made sure to put it through a PAYE system, so he was, taxed correctly for the job. Gonna get that tax, son.
But to answer the other part of the question, the best one from the original is Vlad. So.
Yeah. No, I have to agree.
Leave me to do my dark bidding on the internet. If Jermaine Clement's in something, there's a very good chance he's going to be one of the best things in it.
Very true.
Hands down, the best
Just
moment
saying.
is when he transforms.
His face is still on.
Oh god, the cat's got his face. Oh.
You literally get his pretty fingers Nick's trying to escape the house and just...
Oh god.
Just ruined.
It's amazing.
And finally, this.
Oh wow.
Finally, from Tom Monty, he says, "Have either of you watched HBO's smash hit Chernobyl? I thought it was bloody fantastic."
You saw it, didn't you?
I saw it.
Lucy ploughed through
brilliant.
it twice in 1 week.
What? You watched it again?
Because it was only actually on Now TV for about another week and a half at that point. I'm sure they must put it back up because of how big it's been.
I would.
But she didn't want to take she didn't want to take the risk.
They'll try and
which
get
is
around.
Quite ironic in a show about Chernobyl.
They'll try and get around the DVD sales first, I think, and then they'll put it back on.
Yeah, but she swore by it, but she said you'll hate it, and I said, why? Like, is it just sort of, something irritating about it? She went, no, it's just you really don't like shows that depress you. And I was like, yeah.
It is depressing.
I don't really.
It's even more depressing when you're like, oh,
when she starts watching The Handmaid's
happened.
Tale, I'm like, I'm leaving the room now to go and watch something stupid on YouTube. Not because I think this is bad. This is excellent storytelling and television, but at the same time, I have a limited life. It's going to end one day. And there's like box sets of Morecambe and Wise to be watched.
And also, you don't need to watch The Handmaid's Tale because it's basically happening in front of you.
You don't need to watch The Handmaid's Tale, but you can still have a Handmaid's Tale birthday party.
Just watch the fucking hell.
Jenners and Kardashians are a plague and should be taken off the cultural table.
But yes, I watched Chernobyl. It's fantastic. It's an incredible production with top-notch performances.
Con O'Neill's in it. Whenever Con O'Neill's in a thing, it's instantly heightened.
And the attention to detail in the period, like I say,
You love recent pieces.
history period pieces. I'm there for, and this was a doozy of one of those. Yeah, it's fantastic. Also, the guy who wrote The Hangover 3, who'd have thunk it?
Yeah. Oh,
you look at that guy's credits, the head writer's credits. And it's
Hangover movies.
Let me tell you.
He has been because there was a bit of a furor put up on Twitter, wasn't there? People saying like, how did this guy keep being given chances? Like every script he'd written was one of the things that was in films that were critically sort of panned or attacked, and the script was something that was always highlighted as like, this is not funny or this is terrible. So it's like, other people should be given shots, but at the same time, maybe he was being pushed into the comedy gigs and was always a dramatic writer in the first place.
Craig Mazin, previous screenplay credits.
Here we go.
Rocket Man, 97, no relation to Elton John.
Yeah.
Senseless, 98, which is a Marlon Wayans comedy. David Spade comedy.
Say no more.
Scary Movie 3.
Say no more.
Scary Movie 4.
God, say no more.
Superhero movie.
Oh, God.
The Hangover Part 2. The Hangover Part 3. The Huntsman Winter's War.
Oh, that one is bad.
And then Chernobyl.
Yeah, this guy shouldn't have been given any of the chances. I just hope that Chernobyl...
How?
I just hope Chernobyl had been knocking around for a while. Do you know what I mean?
Like
So that
a
it...
script or something.
Yeah, so
Well,
it was
next...
like, let's maybe give this guy a chance on
I think
something that isn't
probably
a shit comedy
clearly
or a
his
sequel to a
passion
shit action
project
film. Yeah.
that he's been trying to get pushed through.
Yeah.
His next screenplay to be produced
Oh, God.
is the
Scary
Elizabeth
Movie 7.
Banks directed Charlie's
Angels
reboot.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's written that.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, Elizabeth
Yeah.
Banks directed.
I think it's
stars Kristen
currently in
Stewart,
production. Oh, it's in post-production. It's out.
Naomi Scott.
It's out in November.
Yeah.
Naomi Scott, Elizabeth Banks, Luis Jurado,
Patrick Stewart's in there
Why
somewhere,
does
isn't
shit
he?
like this keep
Kristen
happening?
Stewart is in there.
No, isn't Patrick Stewart in there?
Patrick Stewart's in there.
Yeah.
He's Bosley. Jimon Honsu, also Bosley.
Because they've confirmed that this will take place in the same storytelling continuity as the television series and the 2000s McGee films,
Yeah.
and that they are all one thing.
But the titular Angels.
I mean, Elizabeth Banks directing, and she got it going. Like, people wanted to make it for a while, but she was the one who was like, I'll do it because I have a story I want to tell, and I guess this guy's written the script for it. And also, it shows that Power Rangers 2017 led to cool things, because Naomi Scott said this because they worked together on Power Rangers, so...
Yes.
So, Naomi Scott will not be disappearing after Aladdin, which is good, because she's fucking great in Aladdin.
Yeah. Kristen Stewart, Naomi Scott, and Ella Balinski are the titular Angels. Elizabeth Banks is directing, and she's also appearing as liaison agent Bosley, as, of course, so are Jimon Honsu and Patrick Stewart. So,
This happened to me with that Terminator movie. If anybody should have known that was coming out, it should have been me.
No. He's also written Game Boys, which is... this isn't in production yet. It's in development. A pair of video game junkies recruited by the Department of Homeland Security to lead a battle against monsters that have come to life from a video game.
Pixels.
That sounds like a remake of Pixels.
It's Pixels.
And he's also...
with a better title, to be fair.
He's also...
Actually, that's a great title for a video game movie about gamers, Game Boys.
He's also done some work on the in-development, probably stalled, Chris Pratt, Priyanka Chopra, Cowboy Ninja Viking adaptation.
Cool. Take Chris Pratt out and rush into production.
Directed by Michelle McLaren, apparently.
Oh, they'll definitely rush into production, but please take out Chris Pratt.
But there's also...
Unless he gets killed off in the first scene.
There are two other writers on that screenplay.
Dude, massively financially supports his church, which is very anti-homosexual.
I heard something about Ellen Page calling him out on it, and he basically came out and was like, I don't know what the church does.
It's like,
I just know
you
what I
throw
believe.
money at them, dude. Like,
bullshit!
Maybe learn about your church. I don't know. It's like when I found out the lead of A Handmaid's Tale is a Scientologist. I'm just like, do you not see the irony in you being involved in the show?
So many people have called her on it and been like, right, okay, so here's Gilead, here's your cult.
Yeah.
And she's just, no, I don't see it. They're completely different.
It's completely
Sure.
It's a cult, Elizabeth.
I really hope you come through on the microphone, Geeks, because if you don't, it's going to be really weird.
No, I like that. I like the idea of people...
I was quite happy to slunk off into the kitchen and you asked me about Screwball.
I like the idea of people. I like the idea of people listening and going, I think I can hear something based on the levels. So you're sort of like a ghost in the machine. And as a ghost in the machine,
Let's leave that movie.
what curse would you like to put on the listeners?
What curse?
Yeah, just pick a curse. Like, you're a ghost in the machine.
Don't
You can
curse
haunt
the
them.
listeners.
It's a horror film about
curse.
technology, man.
They're already
we're selling
listening.
it to the
They're already
studios.
listening to us. How much more do you want to curse them?
To be fair.
I feel like the curse from the Ghost in the Machine would be the most recent adaptation of Ghost
To
in
watch
the Machine.
Ghost in the Machine.
You mean
the fact that you live in a
you
world
mean Ghost
that
in the Shell?
exists.
Oh.
Yes.
Too many ghosts. Too many ghosts.
You mean Ghost in the Shell?
Too many ghosts. Too many ghosts. We need some more zombies in here. Said no one ever. We're sick of them. But you know what we're not sick of? You guys getting in touch. BigTimeContact@gmail.com.
Actually,
you can also tweet us. At BigTimeCast.
Please get in
but
touch
not
with
Matt. Just blanket for Matt.
Please do.
You can also watch us twitch.tv/BigTimeStream.
It's the only thing that makes you feel relevant or wanted.
Hey, come here. No, I'm going to Matt's aftercare.
That doesn't make me feel relevant or wanted.
We'll listen
it
to you
just
guys
makes
next
me feel
week.
good.
Keep bringing the wax. How to Matt's aftercare.
No.
We'll see you all later.
No, that doesn't mean waxy. It's supposed to be hairy. It's supposed to be hairy. Okay?